Okay, Megan, I'm making this video to show you a little automation that I did on the website for my manifesto, I guess you'd call it, for CAQ presidency. And at the bottom of that, there is a contact me form. And so when people fill out this contact me form, it'll go over to the Notion page. There's a database for Notion, and each form submission gets put in here. And then once the form's put in, the computer recognizes that there's been a new form put in. It'll grab this feedback text, it'll create a reply, and then it'll automatically email it back to the person that sent it. So what I wanted to show you was that automation process, which is what I'm hoping that you'll be able to assist me with, and we can get all of the CAQ stuff automated. So let's have a look at how it actually works. And so this is the program. It's called Make, and it works by effectively like a flow chart. And so this is the finished flow chart, and if you look at it from the macro part, what it is we've got the feedback from the Notion database. Well, I'll even jump one back. This is the form the form thing on the website. So this is that tally part. And so when a form's submitted here, there's the integration here, and it connects up to Notion. And then in the feedback database, it maps across the name, the email, what's in the form, and then the date that it was submitted, and it puts it over into the Notion database. And so once it's in that Notion database, we have this thing here sitting here, and the clock signifies that it's watching the database. And so every hour it just checks this database to see if there's a new entry in the database. And then if there's a new entry in the database, then it sends that new entry onto chatgpt, which then creates a reply to that feedback. And then it sends a reply to the person who put the form in via Gmail. And then it takes that reply that got created and sent and adds another column to Notion. So if you look in Notion here, the feedback reply by the AI is this one over here. And so to have a bit more of an in-depth look, you can click on each one of these. And so this first one is just saying what's the Notion database that it's connecting to. And so the database ID, you just search, and this is called feedback database. And so if you just type in feedback and then click OK, it'll search and find the database and enter the database ID in there. And so that just is checking that database. And then if something changes, it'll grab the new database entry and create variables out of it. And so in here, we can then use those variables. And so this is the chatgpt module. And what this is it's the method that it's using. So because in ChatGPT, you can create images, you can do transcriptions, you can do computer codes. This is just saying create a chat. You can select the model. So I'm using like the good model that's relatively cheap. There's even a cheaper model that you can use for like more simple things. then you tell ChatGPT what you want to do. So when this system thing means the instructions to the system, and so I say you're a AI email assistant designed to help Wade, blah blah blah, and you go through what its role is, what its persona is, and what it's meant to do. And then after you've given it that bit of message, then you go on to the next part, and you say that the next message is from the user. So the user is the person that's typing in the information. And so I say, hi, please create an email using HTML formatting. Here's the information from the form. And then here's the variables that come from Notion. So when we go over it, you can see it pulsating, which lets you know where these variables come from. And so you can put in all these variables that this Notion's picked up from the database. And so you can get dates submitted. This is the feedback test that it picked up here. There's the feedback test. And there's the plain text. Whoops, we just managed to put it in again. So now that was up here. It just came in at. So yes, it's a matter of just typing in what you want and then clicking these things, and then it grabs those variables that have been pulled from the database and puts them into this section here. So here I said, hi, please create an email using HTML formatting. Here's the information from the form, name. I grabbed the name, and then message, and then there's the message here. And then ChatGPT will then reply to that. And then we go into Gmail and we say connect up to our email. The email address is from the properties that we got from the database. We put the subject in. Like I thought about creating another ChatGPT program in here that grabs the email reply and says, please create a subject for that. But I decided that it's easier just to say RE submission to New Era CAQ website. And then the content of the email is just the result. And so that's the result up here, which comes out in HTML format, ready to be sent. And then once this thing runs, the email's sent, and then it goes on to the final one, which is updating the database. And so the database, this one ID is the ID of the file in the database, or the record in the database from the start. And then all we're changing is the in progress status to be AI, and to put the result that ChatGPT wrote out into the feedback reply. So it's changing this from being blank, this replied section, to being replied by the AI, and then putting in this that it wrote out here as a reply to the email. And so here we have the form submission, and then here we have the reply that was sent. And then if we go over to the email, which is here, so I got Marilyn just to enter a rant as if she was seeing it for the first time. So she wrote, hi Wade, what you're doing sounds really good. I don't really know what skills I have or what I can do to help. I'm really keen golf player who's sick of dropping down the rankings because of all the fake rubbish tournaments where people are only playing most of the time against players in their own clubs. These players aren't ranked according to their world rankings, but are ranked much lower. What happens, therefore, is they have a really good win-loss ratio and super high DG, sometimes because they've been started on the wrong index. I'm getting frustrated. I don't want to enter any tournaments other than the CAQ ones. What role do you think I could get involved in to fix this problem? And so that was what was submitted on the form. And then automatically, ChatGPT got given that bit of information, then wrote this reply and sent it automatically without any intervention. Dear Jane, thank you so much for reaching out and sharing your thoughts. It's wonderful to hear from passionate individuals like yourself who are keen to see positive changes in our community. Your enthusiasm and concern about the issues facing our tournaments are incredibly valuable. I completely understand your frustration regarding the rankings and tournament systems. Your experiences highlight a significant area where we can certainly improve and make the competition fairer for all players. As someone who is passionate about the sport and has first-hand experience with these challenges, your perspective is crucial. I believe there's several ways you can get involved to help address this issue. Given your keen interest and experience, you might find a good fit in our Tournament Standards Committee or our Ranking Systems Task Force. These groups work on establishing fair practices and ensuring that all players are ranked and matched appropriately, reflecting their true skills and dedication. Now, it has had in that section, obviously, a little bit of a... It's decided to make up some committees to put Marilyn or Jane on there. And so it does do that from time to time. And that's why at the bottom you say it's the AI assistant responding. But even in general, it's saying, like, given your experience, there's ways that you can help, which is true. If you're interested in joining one of these committees, I'd love to discuss this further with you. Please reply to this email with a suitable time for a phone call or meeting, and we can explore the best way for you to contribute. Additionally, please provide your phone number for us to get in touch swiftly. Your insights and energy are exactly what we need to enhance our tournaments and make them more equitable for everybody. Together, we can make a lasting impact on the croquet community in Queensland. Thank you once again for your support and willingness to get involved. I'm truly excited for the potential for us to work together. Warm regards, Wade's AI assistant. And so that is just an exemplification of the use of the system to automate a process. So you can see the potential from this, but you can see how you can just start to do all sorts of different things. And this isn't even getting into so much the database in Notion where internal information can get passed around, but you can see that it's a very WYSIWYG kind of setup where what you see is what you get, and it isn't like we need a whole heap of code to be doing all this automation stuff. Anyway, it's going to approach 15 minutes. Don't want to take up any more of your time because you're probably having a grand old time, hopefully down in Sydney at Vivid and then at the Hunter Valley with the wine growing regions. So keep having fun and talk to you when you get back.